With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Back, everyone. This is Julia. This is Two Non-Critics and a Cat. I am absolutely starving. It's past dinner time, and this is my sister, and this is Federica. How are you guys?
Hello.
Hello.
I just had to put them on the spot. That's it. That's all we did. So, how are you guys?
Yes. We are absolutely good. Yes.
Are we going to discuss about the absolute fear of God that came into my sister going to see 28 Days Later today?
Yes, so this is the episode that we are dedicating to 28 years later. We went to watch this movie at the Odeon.
Which? Let's go. Okay.
Odeon Leicester Square.
Step by step, Odeon... don't dox us, though. Jesus. So, Odeon... No. The screen is the size of a dinner plate, and and the place is too big.
No, but let me defend them. The place is too big, it's true, for that screen. The place is super big, but it's nice.
It's beautiful.
The screen is too small for that room. That is true, but then actually the quality of the screening and but most importantly the audio.
Yeah, no, the audio is Dolby surround. Yeah.
My
and
God, the Dolby
Digital
is something else.
The Odeon Lux is in Leicester Square is mainly for sound, because that's like it's a whole encompassing. Like every time that I go to the London Film Festival, and I get the privilege of sitting for a screening there, you just get like the sound experience is completely
yeah, definitely.
else.
You can tell.
I agree. I thought it was worth it, to be honest. Even though it's true, the screen is a bit
tiny. I feel
room.
like it's not even tiny. Like the screen is massive. The problem is that there's too many seats.
It's very there are a lot of seats and they are very separated. It took me 15 minutes to find my place because I was like, what the bloody hell? Because there is a square in the middle of the rows, so we were like... But anyway, let's not get lost in bloody sitting. On the trailers that are normally related to the movie that you're going to see, I already wanted to leave.
And we have... in order. Directed by the director of Barbarian, we have Together, which it's not going to come to us anytime soon, because they didn't even give us the time or the day. We have... Attention, one of my favorite, The Conjuring Last Rites. You will know why it was their last case. I'm very excited to see them. Absolutely delighted to see these horror movies.
I was so delighted that I was hiding behind the wall.
Is it the one with Vera Farmiga?
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I saw that trailer because I can't remember which movie it was that I went to watch, and there were Meg 3, Meg 2... And then The Conjuring, I was like, nah,
so you need to understand that I'm one of those people. The second Conjuring is called the Englefield case. Englefield is here. I went to see the house.
If you give me £50, I wouldn't
I went
come
to see the house,
and
the funniest thing is it's here and it's in England. And I went to see it, and there was like a cross all over the place, because now it's like owned by someone that is like incredibly religious. So basically, they just fend it out. But yeah, I went to see the house.
I love how the best horror movies are all about devil, religions. Like, yeah.
The problem with The Conjuring is not only it's a fantastic horror movie. The thing is that Ed and Lorraine Warren existed for real. And
that's what scared me the most about the trailer.
All of their movies, including The Devil Made Me Do It, there are actual trials that came out in the USA or in England. So that's the thing. They're all true stories. To your absolute delight.
No. This is the only exception that I have to my no horror movie religion that I live by. It's 28 Days
incorrect.
Later.
It's Cillian Murphy, because you saw A Quiet Place.
That is true. No, it's also Gary Oldman, because I've seen the Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Is not a horror movie.
It is. It is. It's the definition of a horror movie.
No,
Come
it's
on.
the definition of a horror movie. But what you saw today, she looked at me. This was the funniest thing. It comes out with the ratings and it goes 15. And she reads the things and she looks at me. What is gore?
I swear, I said to her,
and I went,
because
oh,
it said violence, blood,
splatter, and then it said gore.
Everything, and I said to her, what does that even mean?
And I went,
and she was
it's
like,
the best.
worst thing that you can possibly imagine. And I was
gore is over
leave.
splatter, and it was, to be fair. And I was just like, I was laughing, and I was like, you Google that, and you let me know.
I swear, I want.
Now you know when somebody comes at you and tells you, "Give me the gory details."
Yeah, true.
That's when what
gore
they really
is worse
mean.
than splatter. Gore is like a whole genre, like horrible things. So yeah.
I suffered. Anyway, so we're talking about 28 years later. Let's do some history.
Martina, give us
some
the history.
Education, some culture. Okay, so this is the sequel to 28 Days Later. 28 Days Later came out in 2002, which is almost 28 years ago, actually. It's 23, something like that. It was Danny Boyle directing, and it was Alex Garland writing, and it's the same team that is doing this again for 28 years later. 28 Days Later was the debut of Cillian Murphy as lead actor. He was the lead actor for Danny Boyle, and it was just iconic. Like 28 Days Later is considered a cult. It's considered the movie that started the genre with the zombie
I saw something the other day, and I was wondering if it was true. Is it true that they had a budget of under $3 million or something to do the first one?
They made it for $8 million.
And is it true that they used London at Dawn to do the first scene when it comes out? That's
absolutely,
beautiful.
yes.
I love that.
They did that movie for $8 million, and if you've seen it, there is an iconic scene with Cillian Murphy at dawn on the Westminster Bridge with the buses, the 2-decker buses upside down, because it's the apocalypse happened, but he doesn't know. It's called 28 Days Later because he wakes up from coma after an accident 28 days after the accident, and he. Yes, after his accident, and the outbreak happens in between. So
they must have had Christmas 4-5 a.m. absolutely August 4-5 a.m. to do that scene.
No, it was summer, because obviously to do it at 4 a.m. it must have been summer. Yeah. So this is considered one of the best, highest rated and critically acclaimed horror movies ever made.
It has 93% of Rotten Tomato, which I'm very happy about.
Oh, I'm talking about the original.
No, I was talking about this one.
No. I'm talking about the original one. So what happened? That about 23 years later, as I said, Danny Boyle talked to Alex Garland, and they talked a lot about doing a sequel with Cillian Murphy as well, the three of them, and they decided to do it. So basically what they did is they shot 28 years later in the Lake District in North Cumbria, and then they shot together the second one because they want to do a trilogy, which is gonna be called the Bone Temple, and it's directed by Nia Da Costa, so it's not directed by Danny Boyle. At the end of it, Cillian Murphy's character will come back, and then the third one will be directed by Danny Boyle, who is trying in any way to get it greenlit, and is using Cillian Murphy to do so. So he's saying that it's gonna be all about him and his character. And he said it bluntly in the interviews that he's saying that and he's doing that because Cillian's name is going to get the film greenlit and because he wants to work with him again.
It is sad on a certain
twice.
level that like people to do horror movies, they need to do this kind of like publicity stunt to actually get the movie to be greenlight.
Yeah, but even worse, it is said that a director, Oscar-winning director like Danny Boyle, who has he's one of a kind as well. Like he's very eclectic. He's incredibly good, and I mean, if you think he's done $1 Million Baby, that's what he won the Oscar for. He's done stuff like Trainspotting, 20 Days Later, Steve Jobs. They have nothing to do with each other. Sunshine, you know what I mean? He's really eclectic. He's really a great director. And
talking about not having a signature that will make you realize who that person is, he's always changing.
Yeah. He likes experimenting. Yeah. And it's sad that someone like Danny Boyle has to fight for greenlit, you know?
Do you know why he's not directing the second one? Like, the second of this trilogy, anyway.
I'm not sure, actually. No, I'm not sure. I know that he's picked her to direct the second one.
He's probably giving it away because he has another project.
He probably has something else. I think so, yeah. Yes. Yes, or he wants to, like, focus his energy on the third one. I don't know. Also, they shot them
if it
together.
Doesn't get greenlit.
No, but the thing is, they shot them together. So he was doing the first one, and so probably needed someone else to do the second one because they shot them back to back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because probably was doing post-production for it.
Yeah, probably, yes. But anyway, he said that. So we went to watch it today.
I want to say that my sister was very brave.
I was very brave. So there's Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Jodie Comer, Alfie Williams, and Ralph Fiennes.
Excuse me, and Edwin Reading.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
No, you said you liked it.
He does 3
You said you liked it, though.
I said he was hot.
You said you liked him as well. That is enough.
Yeah.
It was very funny, though.
Yes. So, my God.
where do we start?
What to say about this movie? So, it is... Are we spoilering or are we not spoilering? We are spoilering. Okay, we're spoilering. So if you haven't watched it, also, I mean, this episode will come out like 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
It's
Also,
been
I don't think they're
released,
having.
We can talk about it.
Yeah, it's just like you wouldn't be talking about it like on a perfect level if it wasn't spoiler. So.
Yeah, maybe we won't tell how it ends, but yes, we are spoiling quite a bit. So. It is set on an island, really, kind of, a bit of it, because they quarantine mainland Britain because they don't want this virus to go out.
Yeah, this is a very important set for me because all of the outbreaks and all of the zombie movies are always set in America, while this one is completely UK based.
It's UK, yes.
It's very cool.
It's UK. Danny Boyle is British, by the way. That's why he's UK. And it doesn't matter that you didn't see... If you didn't see 28 Days Later, it doesn't really matter because it's kind of... You understand immediately what's happening here. But so Aaron Taylor-Johnson with his son and his wife. His wife is sick. His wife is Jodie Comer. And... his kid are living on this island, and basically it starts with on the day that this kid is 12 years old is gonna be doing the baptism of fire, kind of like he's going out on mainland to hunt and kill infected. Okay, he's going to kill infected. So they do go out. He does kill this, infected, but he's also...
They had a cure, honestly, a particular cure of like making those things, because I swear to God, there is nothing that makes me throw up more than just like slimy things. And imagine just having like someone sliming over the floor.
Yeah, let's take a moment for this, because actually they are very different from the ones in 28 Days Later. The ones in 28 Days Later were like normal zombie running, whatever. These ones, they are divided in two types. The fat ones,
yes,
that are slow and slimy, and they crawl on the floor.
Even if they crawl for like miles and miles on end.
Yes, and then there are the other ones, the other category, which are fast and they run and they are kind of athletic. And then there is the alpha, which is massive. It's like a monster
it's like someone that is mute.
And they are all naked.
Yeah.
Which is not the case in 28 Days Later. That they are dressed.
I think they mutated at some point that they'll have to shred at some point. So that's why they're naked. But also they're like literally 7 foot tall and they run like soldiers from the Royal Navy, and it's the funniest thing in the world.
Yes,
but
here we go. That's the secret.
They're absolutely.
They evolved.
They evolved. They're absolutely breathtaking if you think about having someone that's like 7 feet tall, not only infected with a rage virus, and you just like, chasing you. You know the thing about like The Last of Us zombies, when you hear like a normal zombie, you can try and fight it. If you hear a clicker, you're out of it. Well, wait for those.
Also, these ones, this particular specimen of infected, they kill by ripping off the head of whatever from
a human
fuck it is.
Cue the gory
details.
Warning.
Oh my Jesus.
So
anyway, this kid no, please. And some of the, like, what's it called, the Julia in English, the
spine.
Spine?
Yeah, the spine stays attached
the spine.
to the head.
The spine always stays attached to the head. That's the funniest thing.
Yeah, when he rips it off.
I think it's like a little. I think it's.
I wanna watch this now.
I think it's like a little, a scene that was supposed to be there.
Honestly, I felt the first time I felt like I was fainting.
I swear to God, I saw the first scene and I went, "Oh, she's not gonna make this."
I probably would have laughed.
No, I thought I'm not gonna make it. So yes, the kid kills his first infected, one of the fat ones, and I don't remember his name, by the way. The kid, I remember the actor is Alfie Williams. Spike, yes, Spike. Spike.
I thought it was a very funny name for the whole movie, so I remember it.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He's not very convinced.
No.
Let's say, about killing this people, and he blocks the father from killing a child infected, whatever. He's not convinced. So
he has moral values.
Yeah, yes, and when they go back and they have this celebration party for the kid, for Spike, he sees his father sneaking out with someone having sex with
a woman of the village.
With a woman of the village, not his mother,
but his mother is
and
sick,
so
and, she's in bed, she's delirious, you know what I mean? It's not really.
Yes.
Do we excuse it?
No. So he gets mad, Spike, at his father.
You made me look like a dickhead.
Yeah. Yes. And he wants to find this doctor, who apparently is somewhere, in mainland, for his mother to understand what she has and cure her. So basically he escapes with his mother to find this doctor and cure her. The doctor is Ralph Fiennes.
Which there is a very particular moment that I don't think a lot of people actually realize. He is completely orange. And he's covered in iodine. And he says that he's a kind of like a prophylactic for the virus. Because, of course, it sterilizes the blood immediately. Iodine is like what sterilizes a wound. So basically, we sterilize the blood that splatters onto him immediately. So he's covered in it completely. And I thought it was very funny, actually. I thought it was very smart.
Yes, and me too. Yeah, actually.
And
very
he's
smart.
like, he's a doctor, so...
I mean, let's not forget that it's Alex Garland writing.
I don't like Alex Garland, so for me, you're saying anything.
Oh my God, I love Alex Garland.
I love him.
He's incredible.
I find him really clever.
He's really great. Anyway, so they go to him, and basically the doctor says that
there are some kind of...
his mother is sick. Is dying. She's dying. And...
Of the same illness as the people
no,
that
she
are
has
infected?
cancer.
She has
we
brain
said
cancer.
no. She has breast cancer.
She has breast cancer that metastasized
to brain. Yeah.
whatever,
So
yes.
not the funny thing, like the deep thing about this is the fact that the kid is 12 years old. This kid was probably born because it's 28 years later. So this kid was born during the outbreak.
Into this.
So he has
yes.
no idea. The funny bit with Edwin reading,
yeah.
was hilarious, but he has no idea what a phone is, what an Amazon is, what a delivery is, like nothing.
He knows nothing. He's like
because
a villager.
He was born into the outbreak and he was born like that. So for him, he goes to the doctor and he goes, "Can you save my mom?" And the doctor goes, "There are some illnesses that I cannot save people from." Of course, because he can't take it out, you know what I mean? He can't operate on her.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't understand the fact that his mom cannot be saved. So it is very deep because this kid was born in the outbreak. But at the same time, yes, the doctor technically cannot do anything about it. And she has breast cancer.
Yeah. And by the way, they all think that this doctor, his father, Spike's father, Aaron Taylor Johnson, he thinks that this doctor is mad.
Yeah.
But actually he's a very kind man, and he's basically done a monument for all the dead, infected and not, to pay homage to them, and so
humanity in the outbreak.
Yeah,
but so the thing is, 20 days later is iconic also for this, because it shows you how it's not really the infected that you should be scared of, but people that are like you.
I mean, if you think about it, it's quintessentially Alexander Garland, because all his movies are about how far humans can go, either for good or bad.
Yes.
In all of his movies, that is analyzed in every different facet. So this kind of like sums it up as well, I think.
Like this one was kind of like light because it was simply like, oh, you would think that the doctor is actually insane. While the other ones were really heavy. Like, I remember there was soldiers trying to rape a little girl, you know what I mean? So it was a little bit heavier, the other movies, the other 28 years, months, or whatever.
It shows
this
like
one, it's a little bit different. I think he's
that I
very
actually
religious as
found...
well. I think he
I actually found it worse, the 28 days later.
28 days later, yeah.
Yes, because it's the idea, Feds. It's the idea, because the thing is, yes, you have these zombies, whatever the hell, but basically they go to this military base where there are a few survivors and they're all soldiers, whatever, and they think that the race is going to be wiped off by disinfected, so they basically barricades themselves in, and Jim, which is Cillian Murphy's character, goes in with the Naomi Watts and the other kid, who is a kid. She's a teenager in the movie. She's like 11 or 12. And
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
And basically they pretend they are their friends, but actually all they want is to rape the two girls, so that the whole of them, it's like 17 of them. So the idea is like unbelievable. It's like group rape them to continue the species. And then when Jim finds out,
why not?
Yeah, right. And when
Let's
Jim
rape
finds
two
out,
women to
obviously,
continue
Let's
the
be
species.
completely clear.
But-
There is no reason to continue the species. They will all die in the same way. Just leave the poor girl alone.
Yeah. Anyway, so the idea of 28 Days Later, I found it worse than
Absolutely.
like the concept, like
It's like humanity.
it's-
not.
my
it's
God.
dehumanizing humans.
It's humanity at its
laced
worst.
with desperation.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there was a bit of that here as well, because it shows really how, honestly, Aaron Taylor Johnson character is not, I don't remember the name. It's like, what's his name? Jimmy.
You mean the
think
dad?
so,
Oh, I
yeah.
don't remember.
Yeah. Anyway, his character is not a good one. Like
Jamie. That's
Jamie.
his name.
Yeah. They're all called in this movie. They're all called Jim, Jimmy, Jamie. It's very hard
And
to
then there's
understand.
Spike.
Yeah. So he's not really good. He's not a good character. You see him
There's
at the
also Jack O'Connell in it.
Yeah.
Nice.
You see him at the beginning, you think he's a good one, like one of the warriors, whatever, but then you quickly realize that all he wants is for his kid to be manly,
Yeah.
to be
He
killing
doesn't allow the
things.
kid to actually have an opinion, and he cheats on his wife. He beats the kid as well at some point, just because of rage. But he does beat the kid. So, and he doesn't at the point. I won't say how it ends, but the kid decides to take his own path. You know what I mean?
I mean, the fact that they decide that a coming of age quest is to kill. Go look
Yeah.
for one thing
Go
is
look
kill
for
to
them. I
defend
don't
yourself, but go look for them and kill them. That's
I don't
a different type
understand
of
that,
thing.
and
Like,
I
that's
said that while I
cruelty.
was
Yeah.
watching the movie with Martina, because he was around and he was looking for them while he was taking post to his mom sleeping, and I was just like, why would you go and look for them? Just
Yeah.
stay
Yeah.
there and defend yourself.
Actually, I thought they were going to hunt, but to hunt for eating, not
Yeah.
for that. So when they go out and they actually go for killing, I was
And the path that
surprised,
they take to go for killing, it's so much just to go kill things that will eventually die. So it's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
but that's the thing. That's the horror of it. I think that's the point of it all.
Yeah.
How far
I think they're massively scared of the
desperation
fact
will
that,
take you.
like in A Quiet Place, I think they're massively scared of the fact that one day they could overtake them. Because the thing is, the actual one that is mutated started running against them into a safe place. So technically, they understand that at some point they will get these people to enter their safe space. So that's why they go and hunt them. Yes,
feel like
but
I think this is a massive metaphor for society of today, in a way. If you think about it, it's the complete exaggeration of today's situation.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
you
the
see
extreme,
how
of
deranged
course.
people can
Yeah.
be in power and do deranged things. This is just the spectrum of, let's put this situation as if it was to the extreme.
Yeah.
And I would definitely know that some people will react this way if there would be an outbreak or something,
Yeah.
and that will turn
And
half of the population
even
into
listen,
zombies.
the people even are extreme, like the characters. So while you have his father is very, bloody manly in a bad way, toxic, and he doesn't care. He just wants to do the kill. Then you have his mother, who is actually sick, and is super sweet,
she's
and
very
is super
she's very funny,
understanding.
she's very understanding, yeah.
Very sensible, and she actually helps one of the infected to give birth, and there is a moment of connection between them, and then after she gives birth to an actual
Safe child, because he's not.
it's
he's
not infected,
Healthy. Yeah.
healthy child. She takes the child with herself, obviously, and then the virus for the infected that just gave birth just goes again, and she becomes aggressive, and so the the soldier that they meet, which is
Edwin reading.
Character, shoots them.
Which is also that a very it's like it shows because she was trying to protect the baby, and he was trying to shoot the baby. So
yeah, he wanted to shoot the baby. By the way,
at that point, the only one that
obviously
died was the soldier, was Edwin, was Eric. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like
there's like social justice in a way, you know.
There's a kind of like social justice that rolls around.
Yeah, even if justice comes with the alpha guy that rips his head off, you know what I mean. But anyway, there is a Ralph Fiennes, his character, Dr. Kelser, I think it's his name. It's very interesting because he's like, you have to respect everyone, the life of everyone, infected and not, because it's not their fault that they are like that, and because we're all gonna die at some point, which means we're all the same. You know what I mean? We're all gonna die. It's not like we're different.
The main point of the Doctor and the reason why he made the statue with all of the skulls and stuff like that was the phrase "memento mori," which is remember that you have to die. So it was all stemmed from that, and the fact that they're like different kind of deaths, and nobody is really in charge of how they die or why they die. So it's like you have to respect them all in general. It's a very religious like figure. I would understand why also, the soldiers or like the villagers would think that he's insane, but he's not.
Yeah, but also in the end, it's also, Julia, I think it's also the concept of. We are suffering because we are quarantined, but also they are suffering because they have this virus. So we're all suffering, like we're all, and so we have to be.
There's also the idea that some of them think that they're better.
Yeah, like
because they're not infected.
Of course. But again, the soldier was absolutely stranded in the middle, and he was the only one that was left alive out of like 8 people. So he was also in like dear need of like help, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Traumatized.
Yeah, but like in 28 Days Later, if you remember, there is always an understanding that they are that way because
that the army is a shithole.
They are infected, you know, like there is always, I wouldn't say compassion, but almost. And also, you remember the part in the military base where there is Jim that has a lot of compassion for the infected in chain that they're keeping there just to it's like
just to have something like
in 28 Days Later they understand,
you know what I mean?
Yes, there is this compassion for you know these people, but anyway, so we're not gonna say how it ends obviously, but this is pretty
you
much,
just have to remind yourself that it's the first of a trilogy. Hopefully, a trilogy.
Yes, so it's a cliffhanger.
But I do have to say one thing, and I'm 100% sure that this is a reference. There is a group of people that help the kid,
which is the most gruesome part of the movie.
They kind of remind me of like the Clockwork Orange, like kind of way of doing things, like you know, fully like violence. But at the same time, these guys they all have blonde hair. They're all wearing tracksuit, and the guy that actually goes in says the name is Jimmy. Because this is an English movie, I want to know if that is a reference to Jimmy Savile. Because I'm sure as hell that actually is.
Ask. I mean,
I'm sure that is, because even the way he said that he stopped them and then he said go, it reminded me of that. I'm sure that was like a kind of like he's.
But I want to say something about this actually. Feds, imagine the movie is over. The movie is over. The kid is going whatever whatever. Like I'm not gonna say the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Did
there
they do
is
a
this
post-credit
group
scene.
That is the most gruesome scene of the whole movie. Happens literally like 3 seconds from the end. Like it ends that way.
Jesus,
I'm like, I thought I was done with this.
She really thought she was safe, and then everything happened, and I was just laughing my ass out. Honestly, it was hilarious.
Yeah, but anyway, That's it. That's what it is. So it's very political. We said it, religion and whatever. Like the original. The original is very political. I think the original is even more political.
But there's never a government in it. There's only army.
No, yeah. I think that's also the message.
Yeah.
That they governments
the
only thing they do is to unleash their army.
It does say at the start that they were left defended for themselves. They always defend for themselves.
Yes, and in 28 Days Later is the same, because Brendan Gleeson's character is like, he's hopeful that there is some sort of organization stuff, and he's trying to intercept the message on the radio. You remember, that's why they go on the trip. And I think the kid is really good. It really stood out. And I loved Jodie Comer as well. My God,
she's amazing.
She's done The Killing Eve. That's why I remember that.
Yes, she's really good in this movie. She made me cry. Obviously, this is funny, by the way. I have cried.
I haven't.
I did when
I imagined. I imagined, but I didn't.
Yeah, I did cry. She made me cry. During a horror movie, this is Danny Boyle. No, this is also Danny Boyle's power.
But that's the thing. It's not a horror movie that is giving you jump scares. It's like a horror movie that is based on politics and what is going on with humanity. You know what I mean?
It's definitely horror, by the way.
Yeah, reality.
Yeah, it's definitely horror, by the way. It's not like, it doesn't scare. No. It's disgusting.
It's disgusting, and it does scare you most of the times, because, of course, there are jump scares, but at the same time, it's a much deeper movie than anything else.
Also, if I survived it, everyone can, by the way. Just in terms
that
of...
That is for sure. She didn't survive the trailers, but she did survive the movie.
But it felt very human, I would say. Like, as a horror movie, honestly, the message. It was also
incredibly beautiful.
Oh, my God. Danny Boyle, he just shoots in a way that is... My God. He's incredible. He's such an experimentalist.
Shot on iPhone.
The movie is shot entirely on iPhone 15 Pro. And
advertisement now on the tube
I'm
with
gonna
20.
say something from someone that actually edits a bunch of things with this. You can tell it's roughly cut. You can tell there's no depth. You can tell a lot of things. You can tell that it's shot with an iPhone. But at the same time, it is gorgeous.
It's perfect.
It's stunning.
Oh my
God. The color
God.
vibrancy is crazy. And it makes you feel calm at some point of the movie, which you should not be.
Yeah.
But there's the sound together with the movie, with the actual shooting. It was crazy. It was beautiful.
Yeah, he's such an experimentalist. He always does this stuff. It's he's psychedelic. Honestly, there is always this element of psychedelic in his movies.
Yeah, it is actually, because it was a lot of flashing. It says at the start as well that there was a lot of flashing lights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Riley Herbst from 2311 Racing here, and you know what grinds my gears? Waiting for coffee. But instead of counting frappes and lattes, I fire up Chumba Casino. No apps, no fuss, just fun social casino games to pass the time. By the time my coffee's ready,
order for Riley.
I've already taken a few victory laps. Next time you're stuck waiting, make it entertaining. Play for free at ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah, I think it was great. Also, shout out to the music by...
Who's the composer?
So it was by Young Fathers, which I knew before... only because when Cillian Murphy had the BBC radio show 2 years ago, he's put 2 tracks in his playlist, and I listened to them. I liked them, so I listened to the whole albums. So I knew them already, and they have done the whole soundtrack of the movie, which is crazy. They are also experimentalists. It's crazy because it's funny. And it's happy, but it's then horror and mischievous. And they found a way to include the poem that you hear in the trailer.
I was so happy about that.
Movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and they included it in the soundtrack. They made a version of it in the soundtrack. And it's incredible. And I really loved it. I actually downloaded it and listened to it while I was going home.
Oh, there is
boots.
one.
The song
there is one
also
other
called
thing
Boots.
that I realized. At the start of the movie, there's a lot of images that are basically contradictory to another, because there is a moment of the past, a moment of now, which is basically them going to war and then going to war again. It's like for them learning how to shoot arrows and bows again, when they used to do that in the Crusades. You know what I mean? So there's this kind of like images like 500 years before and 500 years after. And I think it's a very stunning piece of how you should like put together the time lapse of whatever is happening. But it was like having war and war, but at the same time it was 3,000 years before.
It was also black and white.
Yeah, it was black and white and colored, and it was just them and them and them. And it was.
I think it was also hand colored at a point.
Yeah, but it was
it
was
those frames that are black and white, but then they hand paint
100%,
them.
But it was like we're talking to people in the Crusade using an arrow. Of course, it would hand paint it because there wasn't cameras. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was.
It was
absolutely.
a good shout.
Honestly, Danny Boyle, and he shot it in iPhone, I think, to give the same sort of feeling that you have with the original one, which is you have the feeling that you are in it, that it's amatorial. It's not a kind of Blair Witch Project kind of thing. Like it's not, but it does give you that amatorial feeling, you know, like you are in an outbreak of a virus, therefore you don't have a massive camera, whatever. You know what I mean? So you're filming with a kind of a sort of documentary on the road kind of thing. I don't know. And I think he's done it with an iPhone this time for the same reason, to give a bit of that feeling, because otherwise you would have to compromise too much on quality if you used something else. So he's done it on an iPhone, which, as Julie said, the quality is still great, but there are some things that you notice that it's an iPhone.
The depth of
and
field,
it's not
I think,
an IMAX camera.
The massive thing that you notice, because of course you can never make the same thing with a portrait mode or anything. But like as a camera that costs like £30,000, and I know because I know I do that first thing.
Yeah. Also, it's not like they shot with one iPhone. There are scenes that they shot with 20 iPhones put in a semicircular way.
And
you know
they
what I mean?
also 90% of
but
the movie they probably shot with £15,000 gimbal. So you know what I mean? It's
of course.
It's long.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, it was a big thumb up. Definitely not as much as the original, because I loved the original. I think the original is incredible, but it was really good. I think it was big thumb up.
I think it gave me exactly what I needed, and I was really excited when they put the poem in it, because I was like, this is finally not only like for trailer's sake. It was incredible when it actually started playing, so I was very excited about that.
Yeah, Julie, you are the horror queen, so the last word has to be yours.
The horror queen is something that I want to be called for the rest of my life, honestly.
Yeah, no, the horror queen says what?
The horror queen says, yes, absolutely. First of all, there is meaning. Please stop with these horror movies that is like, I'm going to jump scare you, and that's it. There is meaning to it. There is a depth to it. There is humanity to it. There is absolute gore in it, which I absolutely adore. There's a lot of splatter, a lot of blood. There is also a couple of times, I can tell. A couple of times you could hear like the audience laughing, so it's a very good point to that as well. It has everything, and this is exactly how you make an horror movie. It makes you like. At some point, there was a couple of scenes where I was heavily into it, and I was having anxiety for them. So that's how you make a movie. And A Quiet Place from Krasinski did exactly the same thing. So it's not the first one, but Danny Boyle is definitely a genius for that. So for me, it's absolutely yes.
Yeah, me too. Feds, we're going to have to do a watch party for 28 Days Later.
He's going to absolutely love it.
Definitely.
We're gonna cook.
No, but I think 28 Days Later, I think Feds is
going to love it. But we're going to cook
she
the
loves that kind of
meatiest thing in the
movies.
world, like a steak or something, and we're just going to eat it while she watches.
A bloody steak.
While she watches people
thanks.
getting absolutely smacked.
No,
As if that will ruin my appetite.
I was eating a sausage roll from Greg's.
No, that is true. I can confirm. I was drinking water to make sure that I wouldn't faint. I had an apricot for the sugar. I'm not kidding. I had it after. I was like, I'm scared. My blood pressure is gonna fail me. Anyway, thank you for being with us. Yes. This is what we have. We are preparing episodes on. We'll probably do F1 for sure. We'll do Fantastic Four. And something else that I've put in our reminders. And
you put the Venice Film Festival.
Yeah, we talk about Venice Film Festival, which is the end of August.
Maybe some more horrors, since there's a lot of them coming out.
Yes. Also, isn't Wednesday coming out in August?
I think so.
The second season. Don't know why. I have that feeling.
Oh, we have to wait until
anyway,
November. Stranger Things.
There is a lot, and maybe there is more stuff next week. Who knows?
So thank you very much for staying with us, and see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Riley Herbst from 2311 Racing here, and you know what grinds my gears? Waiting for coffee. But instead of counting frappes and lattes, I fire up Chumba Casino. No apps, no fuss, just fun social casino games to pass the time. By the time my coffee's ready,
Order for Riley.
I've already taken a few victory laps. Next time you're stuck waiting, make it entertaining. Play for free at ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.